Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The Book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the Book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Happy Tuesday, boys and girls. What's up? Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. Dave Sharapan, the Book, Matt Perrault, the Bostonian. We are live on YouTube and Twitter at Boston versus the Book for those two channels. And we are replayed on Sports Grid TV, Sirius XM channel 159. And if you can't find something that you like to watch tonight, you do not like sports. How are you, Dave? What a day we got on tap today.
Pretty simple, right? If basketball's your thing, you got two NBA games with two pretty good teams, Western Conference teams, but that's one thing. Every team is playing in NHL, 16 games. All right, those aren't your things. There's two college football games, which I can't remember who they are.
Conference USA.
Some people, we had some people this morning. I put the tweet out and they said they got to keep me honest. I appreciate you, Saul, keeping me honest. Not watching the college football game. You know what I'm watching? It's Game 7 baseball, bro. We got it last night. We got it again today. How many times you get Game 7s? Not often. Jack, our producer on Friday nights, is going to the game. He got an opportunity. He said, What do you think I should do? I said, go to the game. No matter what. You get the chance to go to a Game 7, anything, go to the game. So Jack's going to the game. I don't know if Norm and Nate are going today. They were pretty bummed out last night. I had to talk Norm off the ledge. He said, boy, that was really bad. Sucked the air right out of the building, the Snakes did. We'll see. I can't wait.
Lots, and I mean lots to get to on the show today. We've got more games to break down maybe than ever before, just given the NHL slate. We won't do all 16, but we got a lot to get to, a lot of the games to break down. But we have to start with the Rangers. They slugged their way to the World Series. They blast Houston. Unbelievable performance by this offense for the Rangers. The road team wins every single game in this series, the second time ever that has happened. And man, you want to talk about a lineup that is fearless. I don't know what happened to Javier. I mean, that was unbelievable. That was his worst outing in the postseason, worst outing of the year. And Dusty Baker tried to stick with a couple of guys, maybe a little bit too late, a little bit too long.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, what a performance. What do you make of the Rangers winning Game 7 on the road?
They got the best lineup, top to bottom. There's no breaks. Garcia, I mean, Seager was having a great series and start the great game. And Garcia one-upped them every time. Seager got a double. Garcia got a homer. Seager scored a run. Garcia knocked two in. The rest of the lineup was, they're good. They're. I don't want to say it looks like they know what's coming, but they are dictating at-bats to the other team's pitchers more so than they look like the Phillies did in Philadelphia in games 1 and 2, right? Where there was just no break. They were getting ahead in counts, hitting rockets, hard hit balls, taking an extra base. Confident team, man. It was great.
One of the most unique teams for a title defense that I can remember, because normally your home field is your sanctuary. The Astros had a losing record during the regular season.
Yep.
And they lost every game at home in the American League Championship Series.
I got the wrong Rangers hat on, by the way. You said Rangers, and I grabbed the New York Rangers hat on. What am I doing?
I thought it was on purpose. I thought you were just trying to
Nope. I just looked. I'm like, I got the wrong Ranger hat on.
I thought because it was Frozen Frenzy. I was like, okay, well, just kind of cross.
We'll get to that in a second. Yeah.
Different Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's remarkable because the Rangers, due to a funky tiebreaker that now is in play in Major League Baseball, The Rangers have home field over regardless of who wins today. How do you feel about that, given that Texas is better on the road?
Well, I think they'll be happy with it. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, they played. So you play everybody now, right? And the series that you play, they all seem, we're just playing the Phillies in a 3-game series, blah, blah, blah. This is going to determine if they play the Phillies. That result of that series is determining who's got home field because they tied with the same record.
Yeah. So in case you're curious what the tiebreaker is this year, which is unique, the team with the higher regular season win percentage earns home field, regardless of whether that team won its division title or a wild card berth, meaning playing a host to games 1, 2, and 6, 7. Sorry, if teams have the same regular season record win percentage, the tiebreak is head to head. Correct. Now that every team faces each other in at least one series, that tiebreaker comes into play this year because Texas and the Phillies are both 90 and 72.
Correct.
But due to the tiebreak, Texas ahead of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they won the season series against the Phillies.
They swept them.
So now that's why they get home field.
Yeah. So
you like it?
Yeah, it's fine. Like there's no, I mean, this is better than the All-Star game determining it, right? Like, we determined it on the field. We played them. We took 2 of 3 or all 3 of 3.
All 3, right? Yeah.
We get home field. So it's good. I think it's going to be, a baseball fans series. The league and everybody's hoping the Phillies win, so people will watch it back east because if it's Texas and Arizona, that's just a little pocket of the southwest part of the country. And I don't know if anybody north of, Texas is going to be watching it. And I don't know if anybody east of Texas is going to be watching it. There's going to be a lot of eyeballs on other things like all this hockey and basketball and obviously football than a World Series.
So it came out last night, right after the loss, that Dusty Baker has been telling people that this was it. This was his last year, that he will walk away from baseball at the end of this season. Wow. Walk away, Hall of Fame career, incredible manager. But what does this mean for the Astros and their window? Because losing your manager, it starts things over. You will be run differently. The team will be a different team. It's always a different team. But losing your manager, what does that mean for the Astros window?
No, I think it's too soon to mean anything. I mean, because if they're known, they obviously knew there had to be rumblings of this and probably preparing for something of that sort. It's a veteran club. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to just have somebody who hasn't done it before, I think, just walk in and do it. I don't know. It's the top of the rotation. Is Verlander? I don't know. There's going to be a lot of moves, I think, but the core staying together. They're fine.
Yeah,
you don't just roll. I mean, you roll out the ball.
Well, Verlander's
and say,
old.
Go.
I mean, you have Verlander who's up there in age. You've got Framber who fell apart at the end of the year. There's some pitching concerns there for the Astros. We know obviously Altuve and the lineup is going to be the lineup, but I'm curious. It's pitching wise. It's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Dusty looked like and sounded like a guy that was tired last night in a postgame. He just looked like, I'm going home. I'm going to see my dog who doesn't know me, and I'm going to hang out with my daughter and my grandsons and just figure all this out. So it's hard to ask those questions like right after.
Right.
Especially after you got, just blasted. Didn't matter. He tried to make a quick pitching change. It didn't work. Then it looked like, all right, we're going to hold him for a little bit. And then it didn't work. And it was basically, I don't know what, 7 innings, minimum 6 innings of just like, we got to get this over with. Like, they
jumped on him. They jumped on Javier so fast. It was 3-0 after the top of the first. And then it slowed down a little bit. And then it was 4-1. And then it was 4-2. And then see you later.
And that was it.
And then the Avalanche came down.
Yeah. That was it.
It's just all Texas scoring. And no matter what pitcher was out there, no matter who or what or when or how long, it didn't matter. The Rangers were raking. And they just were driving extra base hit after extra base hit, home run. Garcia's home run was ridiculous. The ump cam, give me more ump cam shots like that. That was cool.
It's alarming how fast that ball comes in there when you see it from that ump cam, right? You're like, how does anybody ever hit a ball? Seriously. Like, how does anybody actually make contact, let alone like when you saw Seager's home run? He was looking for that pitch. He knew where it was coming. He knew he was on it the whole, and the ball just flew out of there. And then you saw Garcia's homer from that ump cam, and you're like, boy, these hitters are world class. Like it's one of the hardest things to do in any sport anywhere, and
might be
they make it look easy.
It might be the hardest thing to do in sports.
Yeah,
hit a round ball with a round bat going 100 miles an hour,
and hit it far and long and all that other. Yeah,
square it up and get crazy. It on the nose, get it on the sweet spot, and drive the thing. Bruce Bochy needs some praise here. He takes a third franchise to the World Series.
Pretty cool.
He now has 6 wins in Game 7s. He's never lost.
Yeah.
6-0 in Game 7s is an unbelievable number for Bruce Bochy. He has both the longest streak for winner-take-all wins overall and the longest streak to start a career. 13th win in the postseason when facing elimination. That's ridiculous. 7th manager to reach the LCS with at least 3 franchises, but he's the first to win the LCS with 3 franchises. I mean, are you kidding me? This is unbelievable, the career for Bruce. He's 5-0 all time in League Championship Series. He's the only manager to win the pennant in each of his first 5 LCSs. 5 pennants are tied with Sparky Anderson and Bobby Cox for the 3rd most since 1969, only behind Joe Torre and Tony La Russa, who each have 6. 16th round, Bruce Bochy has 1 in the postseason. That ties La Russa for the 2nd most all-time behind Joe Torre. He's got 3 World Series titles. He's bidding to join an exclusive list of only 5 managers who have won more. Casey Stengel, Casey Stengel, 7. Joe McCarthy, 7. Connie Mack, 5. Walter Alston, 4. And Joe Torre, 4. There's only one guy.
That's when there were 12 teams in the league when those guys were in it. I mean, they had a very good shot at getting back in a World Series.
There's only one guy on that list that actually played in the modern day era. Only one guy who managed. I mean, Bruce Bochy's going to be on the list. He was 43 years old when he reached the World Series with the Padres in 1998. He's 68 now. Per Elias, he's the 2nd manager to reach a World Series at age 43 or younger and at age 68 or older, joining Connie Mack, who did it in 1905 and 1931. I mean, Bruce Bochy is going to be on you can have a conversation, a legit talk about him being the best manager of all time.
Yeah.
He's in the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Being able to do it with, like you said, multiple teams, number of years, all the wins, success, no question. And he's just sitting there like, looks like a guy who's just comfortable and knows.
Right.
When he's sitting there the whole time, like, I got these guys, they're hitting. I mean, when your team's hitting, it makes managing the pitching that much easier. He went and got Scherzer quick. He's like, Max, give me the ball. Thanks. But we're not going to let, this team come back at all. We're going to keep hitting, but give me the ball. Everything, when it goes like that, every move you make is working. Just let it keep going.
Don't get in the way. Our boy Mattress Mac is back in the news because he lost a lot. This year, the Houston area furniture manager made $7.9 million in known future wagers during the Astros season. He lost at least $7.9 million here with this. Again, we have to reiterate what he does. He does not really bet.
No.
Okay. He does promotions. He hedges it, although he will lose a lot. I was told that he did lose this year, that because the Astros in Houston, people have kind of caught on to it. So it's not as exciting to people as it once was, the promotions he's running. So he was set to make a lot of money if they won. He lost quite a bit, and thus he won't have to. People didn't buy the furniture as much as he bet. As much. So he will lose money. He won't lose $7.9 million because people bought furniture, but he will lose money on this because of the hedging he was doing, and he was doing a little overboard on that. So America's Do you think he'll ever change his tune and go back and like admit that he shouldn't have said what he said publicly about Texas sports betting?
No, he doesn't even remember what he said about Texas sports betting. And somebody gave it to him and told him to say it. He doesn't remember. I can't believe he did that commercial with that with the fake
Caesars.
The grapes and the.
That was
The
getting
fruit.
fed by girls was weird. That was odd.
That was bad.
All right, D-backs shocked the world. They win game 6, 5-1. Phillies, I don't understand this stat. How is this possible? The Philadelphia Phillies tonight will play their first ever game 7.
Hard to believe, right?
I heard it on the radio. I was driving home from class, listening to the game for the Rangers and they said it, and Carl Ravitch said it on ESPN radio. He's like, and the Phillies will play in their first ever game set. I went, wait, what? Wait, whoa. Philadelphia Phillies have been around for a very long time. This is the first game 7 they've ever played in. That would be a hell of a trivia question. If you ask somebody, how many game 7s have the Phillies played in their history? And before tonight, the answer was 0.
Oh, so game 6 when Joe Carter walked it off must have been game 6. I thought that was game 7.
They've never played in a game 7.
Wow.
I was like, what? How is this possible? But I mean, that game, I did not think they could win that game. I'm going to be honest. I was stunned.
When the Arizona won it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't.
I was stunned they won that game. I mean, the Phillies.
I was stunned that the Phillies didn't hit.
Right. That's right.
At all.
In general.
Like,
I mean,
I'm not surprised that the Diamondbacks won. I'm surprised that they kept the Phillies lineup to 1 run. You know, getting 5, okay. I thought if it, gets the Diamondbacks get 3 or 4, I thought the Phillies will get 5. It could go over.
Right.
Or vice versa. But to shut them down and score nothing, I got some numbers today from MLB. I can't believe it. How about this one? Phillies were held without a homer in game 6 after launching 10 home runs in the first 5 games of the series. Okay. The last time Philadelphia went homerless in back-to-back games was a 3-game stretch from August 12th to 15th. That was 2 home games versus Minnesota and 1 in Toronto. They have 23 home runs this postseason. The Phillies do. How many are solo shots? Take a guess.
19.
19, exactly. 4 home runs with guys on base.
Yeah.
19 solo shots?
Every single home is a solo shot. Every single one.
Doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't. It shows how much more they could be scoring if they got guys on base.
How about this one? And these are courtesy of my guy Nate at research at MLB Network. Wire to wire, Arizona led from the 2nd inning on in Monday's victory. Prior to that, they had led at the end of just 6 of the 45 innings entering the series.
Wow.
Entering game 6. They're tied 3-3.
And that makes game 7 pretty scary for Philadelphia.
Oh,
because
scary.
Because they get hot. I mean, this could be when the pancake may have flipped here.
Oh.
And now they're going to start to play with leads.
Arizona has won all 5 games this postseason when they have a stolen base.
Interesting stat.
If they steal a base today, bam, wrap it up.
Interesting stat. Well, that's because Corbin's on base, right? So you got guys, you got base runners, you got traffic.
Well, between him and Marte.
Right.
Ketel Marte's 25 career postseason hits are 1 shy of matching Steve Finley's club mark. He might win the MVP if they win. He's been unbelievable when he steals bases too. The whole top of the lineup. This is a really it's. I don't want to say it's the team that shoots threes like in the NCAA, and when they go cold and they have 2 games or a game where they don't make any shots.
Right.
and the team that does all the other little things right gets them on that night.
So the Phillies are the 3-point shooting team.
Home runs.
Interesting. Well, they got the guy in the mound they want, Dave.
Yes.
Ranger Suarez, a .94 ERA last 2 postseasons. He's up against a rookie who's never been in the game 7. Brandon Pfaadt going today, who has been very good. I mean, I'm not saying that Brandon Pfaadt is a walkover or an easy matchup at all. Has pitched well in this series, but Ranger Suarez, if you had to pick a guy for the Rangers to have ready to go here for a game 7, sorry, for the Phillies rather, to have, you want Ranger Suarez on the mound tonight here for the Philadelphia Phillies. The last time this franchise was in a game 7, you were there, right?
Arizona?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2001 World Series against the Yankees.
Went pretty well for him, did it not?
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable game. And Randy Johnson came in to pitch in relief. Everybody's available today. It says both bullpens are fully stocked.
Oh, yeah.
Including Zach Gallen and Zach Wheeler.
Well, here's the question. Yep. Does he pitch? Does Wheeler pitch?
If he has to.
All hands on deck. Has he ever come out of the bullpen?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I doubt he has. There's no reason why he would ever have come out of the bullpen.
He might have when he was coming up with the Mets.
All right. So maybe it's been years since he's come out of the bullpen. Starters often talk about how long it takes them to get ready for a start. And when you get them out of that routine, to get them up, to get ready and thrust them into a game 7 situation, which is probably going to be a high leverage situation, I'm not sure I use him. I might use him to close the game out, but I'm not sure I'm going to use him otherwise.
I'm using him over a couple guys that are gassed right now. Okay. Without a doubt, I am. How about this one? Pfaadt enters this outing having thrown 10 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings.
Wow.
He's walked just one of the 48 batters he's faced this postseason.
Incredible.
I mean, how do you keep doing it?
It's incredible. Hopefully he keeps going because that's going to be important tonight. You can't give the Phillies base runners.
No.
Got it. You can't give them free outs and you can't give them base runners. Got to cleanly field the ball tonight and you got to stop or at least eliminate walks. Make them beat you with the bat.
Ben and Donnie asked me this morning on Sports Grid. I went on with them about, a rookie starter. So they came with this one. How about this? 5 teams have utilized a rookie starting pitcher in a game 7 since 2000. 4 of those teams emerged victorious.
Wow.
The lone defeat was in the 2020 NLCS when rookies Dustin May and Ian Anderson squared off against each other. So every time a rookie started a game 7,
a rookie has
won and the only time it wasn't was because there were both rookies in the game. So hard spot for the Phillies. Schwarber struck out every at bat. Castellanos struck out every at bat.
Are you making a case for the D-backs here at plus money?
Hell yeah, they're live.
D-backs plus money.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where it's a pick 'em game. I can't believe the price. So look at the current number.
So I bet the Phillies yesterday before game 6 at plus 120.
Yeah.
So I got to bet the Diamondbacks today, do I not?
Plus 145 right now you do.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing before we started the show. I was sitting here. I told you I got my calculations. I'm sitting here going, all right, I could do the Phillies. I could do the Diamondbacks plus and try to just get the next leg in the exactas and all this other stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I sat here yesterday before the game after we did the show, and then I went and did that other show in DC and all whatever. And then I was like, I think Texas is going to win. I'm just going to wait. And I was going to bet the game in game. I bet Texas at the beginning. I was waiting to bet Houston. And I was like, I don't know if they're coming back. I waited. I'm like, I'm good. And I feel like the same thing could happen today. Here's the team to score first stat. Teams to score first this postseason are now 26-9. That's 73%. Arizona's 5-0 when they score first this postseason.
Huge. So
Philly is 6-2 when they
Interesting.
score first this postseason.
Okay.
In all best of 7 postseason series, okay, teams that have won Game 6 to force a Game 7 have come out on top in that winner-take-all contest 34 of 60 times, which is 57%.
Still kind of a coin flip, but a little bit.
Still kind of a coin flip, but there's so many things that make it a coin flip.
Right.
It's minus 170 at some points. How is that possible?
It could be this. If the Diamondbacks score in the first inning and they steal a bag in the first inning, you can feel pretty good about them winning the games.
Right.
So, you get a single, stolen base, RBI double, 1-0. You might go, okay, D-backs are winning this game. I think you just talked me into it. I'll make that bet for sure now. I'll bet on the D-backs to win the game tonight here. And I think they might actually win the game tonight. This is kind of nuts, but it feels like everything is lining up for the Phillies to actually have more pressure on them being at home than on the road. That this young team being carefree and away from everything and just, they don't know any better. Going in there after winning Game 6, it feels like, and I get it, momentum is nothing in baseball, but it just feels like the D-backs believe that this is their time. Rangers, Arizona. What'd you say yesterday? 400-1?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
400-1.
It'll be fun. That'll be it's the craziest thing that I've ever come close to hitting, and I've had some crazy tickets and some really interesting positions, but man, oh man, I told the kids, if that happens, we'll make plans and we'll go to Arizona. We'll take a whole bunch of plans, but we got to get the game in first. And I mean, if the Philly wins, it's okay too, because we're going to win. We're just, the
not as much.
Prices aren't as high. I don't know. I think, like I was talking to Norm last night because he was despondent. He's like, this is terrible. Needed to win this game. Now it's Game 7. I said, you need to score first.
Yeah. It's the Northeast in him.
I know, but you got to get a lead, because if they hand the bullpen a 2-0 lead, I don't know if Bohm's going to hit fourth. I'm waiting to get the lineups. I'm telling you.
He can't hit fourth.
It's a black hole in the middle lineup, and he got a hit yesterday.
But I know, but it's no.
You got to change something.
This is where
Realmuto up there.
He's been phenomenal. I mean, that's the one question. Like, when you have a power hitter at the top of the lineup, it's awesome. You start the game 1-0, but the on base percentage is not that high for Schwarber. He's a power guy, so you could drop him down into a 4 spot and bat him at cleanup, or bet him third to guarantee him an at bat in the first inning, and shuffle things around a little bit and get guys more at bats, get guys who are hotter in the lineup. Realmuto's been phenomenal. Castellanos, try to get him up higher. You bat him first.
How about him? Castellanos is hitless in his last 19 at-bats.
Dang.
Since homering in his first at-bat of the series. That's why they can't move him up.
Right.
Topper knows that. Like, I mean, they have all the numbers.
Right.
I feel like Bohm's at-bats are not even, like I would tell the kids all the time when we were coaching, like, as long as you're having competitive at-bats and not getting hits, it's fine. But like, when you're going up there and you're 3 or 4 pitches and you're not close, or you're weakly grounding back to the pitcher, like, they're not competitive at bats. It's not helping anybody. Go 7 deep, 7, 8 pitches deep, foul ball off, just miss. And then, if you get out, you get out, but you got to have productive at bats. The Phillies had a lot of non-productive at bats yesterday.
8 p.m. Eastern time, Game 7, National League Championship Series. Going to be a lot of fun. I think you just talked to me and bet the Diamondbacks. Monday Night Football. Vikings beat the Niners. They fell to 5-2 on the year. Niners and Lions both show the wares of travel. They both look awful. Lions and Niners both were on the second game of a roadie. Something to take account of and watch for the rest of the season in the NFL. Teams on that second road trip are not looking like themselves. Do you think there's any way that Kirk Cousins gets traded after what happened last night?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. He doesn't want to. So. He doesn't want to. But if you're like, man, if you're a team that just needs a quarterback, everyone's saying the Browns should call, but I mean, yeah, I guess so. But you gave all that money to Deshaun Watson. Like,
yeah, I'm not bringing somebody in to take that job. I'm bringing
he's
somebody
hurt.
to fill in for right now. But no, I don't think he goes there. Listen, the Vikings proved they can win a couple games. They're right back in the wild card discussion. I don't
Yeah,
think
fair.
they're catching Detroit,
Well,
but they're not going
17 is
anywhere.
17. It's so wild. Like, it's only one game, but that one game has elongated the season so much that, like, you can start really poorly and you can actually make it up. You can actually get yourself. I mean, if you wind up winning 9 games, if you're 9-8 or 10-7, you're in the conversation. Now, you may not make it, but you're in the
In
conversation.
the NFC, I think you're in the conversation for sure.
So,
I think 10 gets you in the playoffs.
So, like, you can start 0-4 and get hot. And granted, it's an incredible run, but it's not impossible for you to make, or at least make some noise. And they're going to get Justin Jefferson back. Addison was incredible last night. And I mean, Philly, the Niners need to get healthy now. They need to get healthy because they look, the story of Mr. Irrelevant becoming the starting quarterback for the 49ers and taking this team. I mean, Brock Purdy is looking like a guy who was drafted last in his last 2 games. The interception in the second half was brutal. He is a quarterback who gets the ball out. He is a point guard more than a quarterback, meaning the yards after catch. That's what makes that offense go. But if you don't have Deebo Samuel and teams can just key in on 1 or 2 guys, and Christian McCaffrey is not 100%, even though he scored 2 touchdowns last night, it's dangerous for this Niners team. They're beatable if they're not healthy. If they've got everybody, they're dangerous. But it's all about the yards after catch for Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, we'll see. It's asking a lot. He can't, like, drop back in. He's not Peyton Manning. Like, he's got limitations.
I just love this morning on some of the shows, everybody's talking about, is Brock Purdy the guy? Like, that was the headlines. Like, what are you guys doing? Lost a couple games. Relax.
Well, but he's looking like he's trending in the wrong direction. I get the question. I don't think you move off of him, but there is a worry that,
it's week 8.
Right. But they've seen this. He looked a lot like Jimmy Garoppolo the last 2 weeks. Unsure of himself, lollipop throws, bad interceptions.
Yeah.
So that's the worry that, like, the book might be out on him, that there the defenses may have figured it out or get healthy. They get healthy, they should be fine. Just got to get Deebo Samuel back on the field. It's going to be a couple of weeks, unfortunately.
Right.
With a hairline fracture in his shoulder. Not something you want to play too many football games with. So, all right, the return of the association is tonight. The NBA is back. They got 2 games tonight, 2 games tomorrow on national TV. Tonight is the TNT game.
2 games tonight. There's the full slate tomorrow.
Right, but there's 2 national games tomorrow. ESPN's got a doubleheader nationally tomorrow. 2 national games tonight, only 2 games tonight, and then we get the full slate tomorrow.
Yeah.
Denver has banner night. They dropped their banner tonight against the LA Lakers. Last year, the Nuggets at home were 1, an auto bet on, and 2, an auto bet over. They were tremendous. New year, quasi new players. Any concern taking the Nuggets tonight on banner night, knowing the emotions with the ring ceremony and everything else, it's going to be pretty amazing.
I have no idea. I watch NBA in beginning and just maybe take shots here and there on totals or something.
Mm-hmm.
Sides, I have no opinion on. I used to book these things and laugh the first month. Just laugh. People would come in and make plays and, move numbers, and nobody knows a damn thing. Absolutely at the beginning of this. This is the numbers are crazy. You'll see totals that are going to be 20 points off, high or low.
Right.
They're going to miss. There's going to be, I don't think there was any major rule changes this year from last year. So everything's kind of stays the same, which is good.
Right. So just to give you guys some stats, Denver Nuggets last year at home, they were 31-20-1 ATS. That's 61%. cover rate.
That's
at
with
home.
the playoffs included. Yeah, because they played 40 games at home in a regular season.
Yes. Yeah. So
I think in a regular season, straight up, would they lose 4 games at home? I think they were 37-4. 41 games. I think they were 37-4 at home. Some ridiculous number like that, straight up.
Regular season games at
Home
as the
record.
home team. Well, this includes there were 44-8 overall, including playoffs. They won 85. They won 85% of their games straight up at home last year.
Yeah, I think that there were 4 playoff.
That makes
home
sense. Yeah,
losses,
4 playoff
something like
losses.
that.
Yeah.
37-4, I believe it was.
Yeah. So I mean,
Somebody
straight
can
up,
check that and put it in the chat. But do you want to take the Lakers?
no, absolutely not. No
Right.
way. And there's no, thank you. Am I taking the Lakers?
Is there a better sport? This is Rainmaker Lou, Sweet Lou from the 412 just came in the chat, and I agree with him 100% with this. Betting the NBA is the worst pregame. The only way to bet it is live.
I mean,
It is the best sport to bet live.
It is 100%. The volatility is amazing, but I think you can take positions and work off those positions early. Like if you feel good about, if you feel good about the Nuggets,
5,
yeah, like you lay 5, and then the Nuggets get out to a 20-5 start or something. You take plus 15 on the Lakers. You can middle it. You get both sides. So there is some value in taking a position pregame, but yes, absolutely. I mean, you can in-game it. You can go back and forth, be on both sides. You can get a hell of a middle and get a 15-point middle sometimes. Totals in particular, you can get big middles for totals in terms of how the algorithm swings. It's quite dramatic. I mean, as you've talked about many a time, this was built for soccer, not basketball. So it's not really designed for
not
this
with
much.
Something with a total of 228 or the other game like 234, where there's all these points and lead changes and all this other stuff. It doesn't keep up fast enough. It overvalues runs. Team goes on a 6-0 run. They triple in price on the money lines and stuff where leads disappear like that. Put it in the chat. We got a bunch of people coming in. This is our time every day around noon Pacific, 3:00 Eastern. We get an influx of people. Do you guys like betting the NBA? Yes or no? Like guys that are watching the show, because I get the feeling of our crowd and people that watch the show. The NBA is coming a little bit down in popularity, and this NHL is going like this. It's on the uprise as far as betting.
Disagree with the first statement. Agree with the second statement. I don't believe the NBA is going down in popularity betting wise. I think hockey is rising. I don't think hockey is rising at the detriment of the NBA, however, though. I think hockey is rising at the detriment of football. I think people are realizing that football is difficult and hard to bet, and hockey is more fun to bet. And so having hockey back, people are paying attention a bit more to the NHL. When the NBA gets going tonight, people are going to be betting the NBA and watching the NBA a ton. It's just not here yet. It starts tonight, and then people start to get into it. Just because, I mean, Denver being the reigning champ is big. Boston, Milwaukee is going to be an awesome brawl this year. And these are 3 teams right now, the most, in terms of the odds. Celtics, Bucks at plus 380 at FanDuel, and Denver plus 550. But, Dallas is going to be really fun to watch this year. The Lakers are the Lakers. I think what Raheem said yesterday about the Cleveland Cavaliers, fun team. I can't wait. There's all these things that come back when it comes to the NBA. Cleveland Cavaliers, when they play Eastern Conference team under at home, automatic under fire on that. Denver at home when they're laying less than 6 has been an auto fire. You can take that tonight if you want. These are all trends from last year. So who knows if they every year is different, but last year there's just a lot of things that get built up and things you can bet on that make it a lot of fun. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I love watching football. I like betting hockey and basketball more. It's more entertaining. It's the handicap is more
true.
Yes, more true. As Raheem said yesterday, the fact that turnovers are such a difficult thing to handicap in the NFL, and it means so much to a football game and an outcome, that there just is more opportunity to either get into a bet or get out of a bet with hockey and with basketball. And look, I got really hot last year in the NBA. I finished the year up 22 units. That's the hottest year I've ever had in the NBA. And a lot of it was just basically watching different teams in different situations. And it rang true. I mean, it wasn't nearly as volatile. There were certain games that just, you knew what these teams are going to be able to do, either side or total perspective. So that's I'm really excited for the NBA to come back. But the NHL in the beginning, you got to be careful. And I think the same thing with the NBA. You just got to kind of pick your spots and realize that, okay, we don't have any data whatsoever. We got to wait and see what these teams look like, because last year was last year. This year is this year. Do you agree with Boston and Milwaukee being the odds-on favorite to win it all?
Oh, yeah, they have to be. That's because they're going to be in it. What are the challengers in the East?
That's the problem, right?
They're going to be in it. I mean, the West, the odds are all over the place, at least at the top, because I don't know who's going to be in the Western Conference Finals. I think there's actually multiple options. In the East, it's Boston and Milwaukee and everybody else. And it's going to take a monumental effort by somebody to just get to the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone beat both of them. Because if they're 1 and 2, the 3 has to beat them, whoever the 2 is, and then beat the 1. So you have to make those numbers really high. I'm just scrolling through, by the way. We got everything from the only reason I watch NBA is if I have a wager on the game. That's from Connor Winsky. NBA is my moneymaker season. That's the juice. And then a bunch of nope, no. Then a couple yeses for like Gorov and Akbar, my guy. And then a lot of nopes. And I think Joe Onler speaks for a lot of people in that
Iowa guy.
Not knowing who was playing made it no fun.
Yeah, but Iowa guy.
And what's that have to do with it? You could be
they don't
Iowa
care. Midwestern in the Midwest, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas, all that area.
They don't like basketball?
No, they don't have teams. North Dakota, South Dakota, they don't have a team anywhere near them. There's no like regional at all. If KC had a team, folks in Iowa and in Nebraska would watch NBA a lot more, but they don't. They're college basketball people.
The other thing too that a lot of people said is they like the player props in the NBA.
They're way better.
That's more fun. You don't have to. There's less randomness. That's the beauty of betting hockey. There's 5, 6, or 7 goals in a game most of the time. Now there's shutouts and then there's 10-goal games, but for the most part, the variance is smaller. And guys are going to get 2, 3, or 4 shots on goal. Sometimes there's a 0, sometimes they get 8. But those are the anomalies. So I think betting on the sports with less variance I think it's more profitable. It seems way more fun because you get more of them right. So it makes perfect sense in that regard. But I mean, look at Phoenix and Golden State tonight. Bradley Beal's not playing. It's the first game. He's resting his back. What have you been doing? What have you been doing? Like, you could play the first game. No, I guess not. I don't know. Like, it's so bizarre.
It's frustrating. I mean, and that's why the NBA, I don't know if you saw the rule changes or not about these awards. You have to play in a certain percentage of games. Last year for the All-NBA team, 5 of the 15 players on the All-NBA team will not have played enough games to qualify for the All-NBA team this year. I think the number is 65 games.
That should be obvious.
That
wasn't in the past?
That wasn't in the past. It's a rule change this year. You have a certain number of games you must play to be eligible for postseason awards.
Good. I mean, there's a certain amount of plate appearances you have to play in to get baseball awards. Hockey, I believe, has a certain amount of minimum played games award thing. Like, that's just good. What's wrong with that? There should be minimum games played for your contract.
Fair, but there isn't, but fair. I mean, yeah. So that's the new little wrinkle to the NBA when it comes to NBA awards and NBA, playing time. There is the incentive for the player to play. Like, hey, do you want to be eligible? Because remember, the Supermax contracts are tied to first team or second team All NBA. So there's a cut. So if you're on the first team, you're eligible for Supermax. Second team, you're on a different level of Supermax. But that's what came into play for Jason Tatum, came into play for Jaylen Brown last year. So if you're not, and Jaylen Brown missed it, so he wasn't eligible for as much of a contract as he got. But that's the hook that the NBA is trying to put there, saying, hey, if you don't play, you can't get on the first team, you can't get on the second team, thus you can't be eligible for a Supermax. It's a lot of money. So It's in your best interest to play. So that now is an interesting little twist to the season.
Do you have a preference between college and pro basketball?
Watching or betting?
Betting.
I would prefer to bet the NBA more often than college, but just because I think there's more games and there's more, even though the volatility is there for the NBA, it's even more volatile with college kids.
Right.
So college kids, you go on the road, the team, whatever, got into a fight at practice. Nobody knows about it. They go out there, they lay an absolute egg and they get annihilated in a game they should win. So I'm more comfortable trusting dollars on professionals, even though there is that inconsistency of the games themselves, but generally, I'm betting pre-flop a lot for the juice. So generally the totals are within 2 or 3 possessions, and generally the spreads within 2 or 3 possessions. Like we're somewhere in the ballpark on most games from a betting perspective with the books, at least after I want to have all the data in play, maybe not early in the season, but as we get towards, December.
I'm going to ask the chat.
Yeah.
If they prefer, like for basketball, do you guys prefer NBA or college basketball? You can just put CBB.
Like I prefer watching. I prefer watching college basketball.
I like watching good NBA games, but like I have a tough time. Although I had to do it for so many years in the book, watching like, Washington and the Knicks. Like,
yeah, that's where betting comes in. If there's a betting angle, though, if there's a consistent trend or a betting angle, then I can watch those games and not worry. But I'm not watching. Like I'll watch a bad Big East game. Like I'll watch a St. John. I'll watch a St. John's versus Georgetown. I'll watch that game.
Yeah,
and not have to bet on it. I just want to watch it because it's fun. It's college basketball. I want to watch it. So bad college basketball is way better than bad NBA. I'll give you that.
Yeah, there's a lot of games like when you get the package or whatever, and you're like, I ain't watching it. There's
NBA. Yeah, I wasn't betting on it. Yeah, I absolutely. No, there's too many games in that sense. There's too many games. Like tomorrow night, there's a ton of hockey games we'll get to in a second, but there's a ton of NBA games tomorrow as well. So like,
you're not going to watch any of Houston or Orlando?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm not watching any of that. Right. There's plenty of games. I'm not even going to glance a score at. If I see it on the bottom line, maybe
and Memphis is a mess. Like
it is. Memphis is interesting though. I want to see what Marcus Smart looks like with Memphis. I have some intrigue with Memphis, so it's a little.
Got a big college basketball overwhelming majority,
and that makes sense. Look, we have a Midwestern audience. Midwestern people, for the vast majority of them, they're going to be all over college basketball,
right?
Including myself. If I'm picking what I'm watching college basketball. This year in particular is going to be really interesting with the number of COVID 5th-year guys we've got out there. We've got tons of seniors. They put out the All AP team. 4 of them are 5th-year seniors. Like this is different. College sports is different right now because of the COVID years. These kids are staying in school. The NIL money is changing everything. It's remarkable what has happened. The fact that we talked so much about one and dones and kids leaving college, it's been financially beneficial and rewarding for them to stay.
Right.
And since they're staying, they're not going to the NBA. They're not chasing that dream of like, I got to go get money right now, because they've got money now to, at least if they have to pay something for mom and they want to buy mom a house or whatever, they got money right now to go ahead of the big programs to stick around. You can stay at Carolina for 4 to 5 years. The NIL money is insane. So we've incentivized college basketball players to stay, which is creating a really cool environment with better teams and better basketball. And this is good. I don't like kids getting paid millions. I get that as well. It feels a little awkward, but if we get better product because of it, great.
Right.
I'm in. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be a really interesting college basketball year. North Carolina's going to be really good. Duke's going to be really good. You're going to have the Big East teams be right back for the first time in school history. Creighton is preseason top 10 back-to-back years. Coach McDermott's got a hell of a transfer from a kid from Utah State to come in and run point. That's going to be more of a shooter than what happened last year. They can get some real shooting from that point guard spot, which they didn't have last year. The 7-footer, Kalkbrenner's back. I'm going to load up on Creighton gear this year because I'm going to be wearing Blue Jay gear like a ton. They're playing here. Creighton plays here in December against UNLV. UNLV may not be that bad. They got a couple of really good kids coming in. A lot of hype around the Rebels basketball program right now.
Okay.
Let's go. I love it. College hoops is I will once again make my Creighton bet to win the national championship. That'll happen again. Do it. Almost got to the Final Four. All I needed was get to the Final Four. They got to the Elite Eight last year.
I know.
Deepest in school history. They got to the Elite Eight. I was like, man, my ticket might actually be live. And I was hedging off of it, and I made money off of it because I bet against them for San Diego State because they were going to lose. And I was like, they're losing in San Diego State. And so I bet against them on that. And so we were able to make some money. All right, Frozen Frenzy. 16 games.
Tremendous.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Will you watch John Butchergrass at all today?
Oh, for sure.
He's doing a red zone version of hockey.
Yep.
If this works and people watch it, this will be a thing.
Oh, I don't know about that yet.
This will be a thing. If people watch it, this is what kids love. Kids just want the big plays. Show me the power plays. Show me the breakaways. Show me the big possessions. I don't need every little single possession. I don't need all of it. I just need the important stuff. There's a thing on the Flash Score app that says high danger. It goes red when you know it's high danger. Something's happening. And oh my God, they're going to score. They're going to score. That's what this is going to be. It's the high danger show.
It's so weird.
I mean, it's going to work. It's going to work. I think it's going to work. I really do. Butchie loves hockey. He's all in. He's known as the hockey guy.
Oh yeah. No, he is the hockey guy. I mean, he's been, I don't know if he can still skate, but I know he's been all in with the hockey, and he talks about college hockey all the time, watches it, and so there's no question he's into it. He's going to sell it. Hope he doesn't oversell it.
Overtime challenge.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I think it's a good thing. There's a lot of interesting games today, weird matchups, all that other stuff. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. We got the last game of the night too here, which
we do.
You know, there may be a shot we run down there and go to the game. So
there you go.
It's an 8:00 game.
It's late.
Yeah, school night.
Rare.
So we'll see if we can.
Yeah, it's a late.
Let the kids go. They stay home and grown-ups go. But
there you go.
I think it's gonna be fun.
I would agree. Game 1, Toronto laying 180 against Washington on the road. Total is 6.5 in this one. So from a total perspective, Washington's been an under team. They're 3-1 to the under so far here. That's last in the NHL with only one over. Seattle's they're 1-5. So they're the one team already. So is the Blackhawks and the Sabres at 1-5, but 1-3. And, you know, for the most part, Toronto's been kind of up and down depending on who they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with this price?
It seems a little bit high,
right?
This feels it seems a little bit high.
I was like, that seems heavy to me.
But you know, Toronto will probably make you sweat, win a 1-goal game. Maybe it'll go to overtime, 4-3.
They're 3-2 on the year straight up. Wow.
Oh man, just happened.
What?
Hold on, you froze.
What's wrong?
Come back. There you are. All right,
good.
Yep.
Minus 180 seems heavy for a road favorite.
Yeah. Dubsy just sent me a text. Of course, Dubsy. We're still doing the show. This guy's unbelievable.
Hi, Dubsy.
I'm gonna get him. Yeah, that's what I said. It'll probably go over. Toronto will make you sweat. The game will go over.
I don't know. Washington might, potentially.
Like
Carolina's got at Tampa minus 130. Hurricanes are 6-0 to the over this year, and some of these games are not even going close to 6.5.
Right,
they are flying over.
Yep,
for this. Tampa's got this Johansson kid in net tonight for them.
Cheap price.
This game's over. This game's going over.
Probably 6.5 again. Let me see. 6.5 over minus 20. Yeah, probably another over.
Yeah, let's see if we have
confirmed.
There
any sevens today?
There's not.
Let's see.
Confirmed Golden.
Went to San Jose, Florida, 7.
Oh, okay. There we go. There's our
That's
first
the
one.
only 7 on the whole board.
Jonas Johansson confirmed in net for Tampa Bay. Ranta is expected. So this is pissing me off. This is the second bet I've made where the goalies flipped today. You guys, the Penguins flipped, and now Carolina flipped. I don't care because either goaltender is bad for Carolina.
Who's playing for the Penguins?
Penguins, it's the guys whose last name I can't pronounce. Nedeljkovic.
I don't even know who that is.
And then Del Jojovic.
I don't even know
Not
who that
Jari.
is.
Yeah, it's your backup. He's a youngster.
First game?
Not in love with it. His first game of the year, yes.
Oh, boy.
Not a fan. Very frustrated by that goalie switch in Pittsburgh. More on that in a second. Over 6.5. This game's going to fly. Colorado is at the Islanders. This is the only 5.5 on the board currently here for this one. Yep. Georgiev in net confirmed. Sorokin in net confirmed. This is the game I'm not betting, but I can't wait to watch.
Why?
Because this is awesome. I want to see how good the Islanders are. This is a great test early against Colorado because they're the best team in hockey.
Short number.
They're the best team in hockey.
Wow, Circus down the lowest and testing the market. So they got to play on the Islanders already. Huh.
Vegas is right now right behind Colorado, but if they played right now, I would favor the Avalanche. They fly. I mean, they are. And Cale Makar is just, he's a UMass guy, so I've got a complete soft spot in my heart for Cale Makar. But watching that kid skate, it's unbelievable. He's so good from a defensive position.
Yeah, it's a coin flip sideways.
Yeah.
Under?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, 3-2 final. Very possible. Bruins are on the road. 5-0. Minus 245 up against Chicago.
You gonna fall for the Chicago thing again?
I really can't, to be quite honest. I think this is it's starting to catch up to them, which really isn't. I mean, it's not their fault per se, but the NHL did them no favors. I mean, there's such. I don't know. It really, to me, it's really hard when you start on the road for 5 games. You come home to take on the defending champs, and now the Boston Bruins are the team you come in and play after that.
Tough schedule.
That's not. It's you know what I mean. That's like. Now I know the building was being used for some concert series. That's why Chicago was on the road for their first 5 games. But then you come back home and you're 2 home games, and after this they go back on the road for 2 games. So it's like, yikes! They got 2 wins. People were like, "Oh my gosh, here comes Connor Bedard." Now it's like, okay. We're starting to realize people have film on him. They have film on the team.
No, the team just gives up a lot of shots. I mean, they're not going to possess the puck nearly enough. Like, there's a lot of things to work out. Bruins in regulation tonight.
That too. I like puck line to get the plus money out of it.
That's fine.
Yeah, you're still laying pretty good juice in 60.
I much prefer that than the puck line in a lot of these situations.
Yeah, it's fair.
The
Bruins are going to start Swayman against.
They just keep churning along.
Swayman against Mrazek. Bruins are undefeated. They're 5-0. Bruin fans are fired up. I mean, there's a lot of excitement. Like Boston is really, it's a winter sports town now instead of a fall sports town, obviously, because the Patriots have not done well, but the Bruins and the Celtics are both going to be 2 of the best teams in the league, in both leagues. So Bruins haven't lost yet. Celtics start tomorrow night against the Knicks, obviously being tied for the odds-on favorite to win it all. So there's a lot of excitement. The Bills, Patriots beat the Bills. That's big. We've seen some of the rivals of Boston go down. So it's been a decent run.
Johnny Parlay just came in the chat and said the Blackhawks in Vegas Friday afternoon for Nevada Day.
They are. Yep. You know our kids are out of school on that day.
That's this week?
Next week, Wednesday.
Next week.
Yeah, next week. It's next week.
It's not tomorrow.
I'm fairly confident. No, because the Blackhawks aren't playing the Bruins. Aren't playing the Knights tomorrow. No, Blackhawks are on the road after this.
Okay.
So
that would be in Vegas,
Hold on, I don't believe that's. I think they're both playing on back-to-backs. Friday, October 27th. That would be
this Friday.
I thought it was Wednesday. I thought Nevada Day was Wednesday. Okay, Nevada Day is Friday. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because they're off. No, because I was told yesterday that Madeline does not have school Wednesday or Friday of next week. And I said, why Wednesday? And someone said Nevada Day. I said, why Friday? And they said it was something else. So Friday is Nevada Day. Wednesday is something else for why they don't have school on Wednesday.
Yeah, you got to get your sources checked.
What's
That's
going
good
on there?
to
But I
know.
mean, they're both days off. I mean,
Nevada Day. How would you explain Nevada Day to someone?
it's like Patriots Day in New England or in Boston. It's a holiday for the state of Nevada only.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
state
what it
holiday.
is.
It's not a
That's
national
what
holiday.
it is, Sonic.
Yeah.
We only have it here.
It's to celebrate the incorporation of Nevada as a state in the union. So banks are closed, schools are closed. They do a whole big long thing. They do a school about it. It's interesting. There's a state song. Did you know that? The kids learn the state song.
Yeah.
It's
Is
really
there
weird.
a state song everywhere?
You know the Pennsylvania state song?
No, I don't know it.
So
But there was one.
there is?
There is one. Yeah. State
There's a
flower, state bird, state song.
There's
all
a
that stuff.
Massachusetts state song. Really?
I would guess so, yes.
I have to call BS on this. Official state song. They do. Oh my God, there is one. All hail to
I love
Massachusetts.
when
Wait a
you
minute.
question these things that
This
I
is
say,
great.
and you're like,
It's called All Hail to
you
Massachusetts.
lived there your whole life.
All hail to Massachusetts. Why am I just learning this? I
Right.
would have done this my whole career. I would have played this every time they won a championship. I would have played All Hail to Massachusetts. What a great name for a song.
46 years old. He don't
I
know
never-
this shit.
No,
It's
no idea.
unbelievable.
I had no idea. I had no idea. All hail to Massachusetts. That's incredible. And there's a state song for Pennsylvania too, I guess.
There's a
Huh?
state song everywhere. Ross Randall just came in and said there's a state song. How do you not know this?
This is wild to me. I
You
want to
are
hear this.
such a schmuck.
How
Hail to Massachusetts, the land of the free and the brave.
this is so bad.
Bunker Hill and Charlestown and the flag we love to wave.
What the hell is that? Oh my God, that's bad. Wow. That's incredible.
What
As
did
the-
you think it was? Creed?
I don't know, but that's as bad as
What did you
Creed.
think it was?
That's as bad as Higher. Oh my God, that's amazing. Wow. I had no idea there was an
No.
actual Mass state song.
I don't believe this.
I gotta hear. Is Pennsylvania's as bad as that? I gotta
Yeah,
find
it's
out.
I think it's a little bit of Pennsylvania Dutch, little polka like.
Is it really?
I can't remember.
That
Yeah.
would be. There is a state song.
Yeah.
A state song of Pennsylvania. Let's see how bad it is. Okay, play. Oh my God, that's bad. That's pathetic.
We had Mr. Sneed was my elementary school music teacher. You
Okay.
just gave me a flashback to second grade. He played that. I can't believe it. I literally
Maddie
just
can
went back
sing
to
it. She came home
second grade.
singing the Nevada State song. I'm like, what the hell is that? She's like,
Yeah.
it's the Nevada State song. Like the Nevada State song. You learned this in school? She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That sounded like Yankle Doody Dandy.
Little bit, yeah. Yankee Doodle Dandy. Yes. You just made up a word. I don't even know what the hell you just
Yankee
said.
Doodle Dandy.
There you go. You said it fast.
Oh, Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Yeah, every state has a song.
Official song.
Yes.
Wow.
And they're old.
really
They're not
old.
good.
They're bad.
They're not good.
I had no idea. So there you go. Nevada Day. There you go. So yes, that game is next Friday. Chicago. Or this Friday.
This Friday.
Chicago.
3 days away.
3 days away.
When is
Wow.
it?
There's no school on Friday. These kids never go to school. I swear. They really do. They never go to school. It's amazing. I wish I had their schedule. It was I skipped school like crazy. They just don't have it.
Right.
Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
They just don't ever have school. I've never seen anything like it in my life. It's amazing. They don't have snow days. So they got to built in all these days off.
Right.
I mean, it's incredible. I love the teachers. I love all of you. I get it. But my God, you guys, whoa. Man, alive. You guys have got some built-in 3-day vacations all throughout the year.
I just love how they're Fridays and Mondays. Wrap it around.
Beautiful.
That's
It's great.
That's
get a 4-dayer.
Yeah.
Get a free 4-dayer. It's beautiful. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Edmonton at Minnesota's a pick. Who do you like? Wild have had a gift. It's minus 160 in every game so far. Goal in first 10 minutes. I love the people who don't understand our vernacular. It's so fun when they come in. They get all bent out of shape.
Goal in the first 10 minutes. That's
but they're like, why are we betting goal in the first 10 minutes when there's college football on? I want to bet college football. Why are we betting college football? Yeah, it's people. I'm like, dude, really?
Oh, bet the college football.
So
I'm not going to watch
ahead.
one play of college football at all.
It's Conference USA. You think I'm watching? I have a game 7 and I have 16 hockey games. What the fuck do you think I'm watching? Conference USA? Come on, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
We're not watching bad college football. No, we're not doing that. That's not fun. Not today. Not happening. No, sorry.
No.
Check it. Guy ain't happening. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Edmonton's got problems, do they not?
Well, yeah. No, McDavid. We'll figure out. You got to figure out the lines. You got to figure out the power play. Guy plays 30 minutes a night.
Campbell in net. Gustafsson in net for Minnesota. I have no idea what the hell happened to him. He's been horrible.
Over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is it? 6.5 over 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, over.
Yeah. I can't. Campbell actually hasn't been that horrible to the over. He's 2-1 to a gift and 2-1 to the over, but I just can't get my head around it. 3-0 to a gift for Gustafsson, 3-0 to the over for Gustafsson being in net. And it's, I don't know, the Wild are playing unlike anything I've seen out of Minnesota in a while. They're just wide open.
Yeah.
Back and forth, up and down. They just aren't playing any defense. Tons of shots, tons of high danger situations. This would be, you want a fun game. You want offense, even if it may not get there to go to the over, but this is going to be high danger chances all over the place. Neither team plays any defense. This is going to be a fun hockey game to watch between these two.
Ross Randall came in the chat and said Edmonton had issues before the McJesus injury. He's right about that. There's a lot of
goaltending. There's goaltending issues too.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I like the over in this game. And then finally, last game tonight, Philadelphia is 6-0 Vegas. They're minus 210 with the total being 6 here on that. What do you make of Vegas here so far? Because they've opened up 6-0 without Pietrangelo. Their best defenseman has not played a game yet, and they're 6-0. And they're going to get him back. He's skating today. He skated this morning. Looks like he's going to come back on this next maybe next game of the game after, maybe Chicago. He'll be back for Friday for Vegas.
When are they going to lose?
I was looking at
midweek in a game against a non-conference opponent. Like, is this a night you catch them?
I mean, this could be Philly. This could be it. Yeah, they're gonna. I mean, I hate the word they're due, but at some
Hill
point,
playing tonight, or is the other guys playing
tonight? The goaltender for Vegas is Logan Thompson, confirmed tonight. Carter Hart expected for the for the Flyers.
Yeah.
The schedule for the Golden Knights, they play here tonight against the Flyers, and then they play at home on Friday against the Blackhawks. And they're on the road at Los Angeles. That could be it. They come back home for a 3-game stretch: Montreal, Winnipeg, Colorado. That could be it.
Ooh.
At Anaheim, home for the Kings or the Sharks. They could lose to the Kings at home. And then they go on a really long road trip in mid-November at Washington, at Montreal, at Philadelphia, at Pittsburgh, at Dallas. Oh my. They come home for 1 game and then they go right back onto the road for 3 straight games. Yikes. In November, the Golden Knights play only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 home games.
Yeah.
And they play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games on the road. Oof.
Yeah, they get them out of town November with the race and all that other stuff.
Oh, makes sense.
So,
and by the way, I did a whole thing yesterday on my class on F1. Do you know that UNLV is sending out notices to professors to tell them that if they can go virtual during the week of the race, they should?
Good idea.
But that is such an unbelievable inconvenience
For the professor?
for everybody, for the school, for everyone.
It's an inconvenience to drive down there or go to class.
It is too. Two of my students said, if we have class that week, I won't be here. Just let you know.
Right.
One girl was like, I drive 40 minutes anyway. It's going to take me 2 hours to get here. I'm not driving 2 hours here, 2 hours back. She's like, I'm not doing that. I was like,
Did
wow.
you see the Flamingo Bridge? Did you see what they did to put the bridge over the strip? Did you get that?
You mean
far?
Koval? The Koval Bridge?
The Koval, yeah, but like
I haven't seen it yet.
Flamingo over the strip, like they actually built this thing over the strip.
I've not seen it, but that's permanent. That's not
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
moving. That's a permanent structure. So that's now rerouted traffic.
It's incredible.
Can you drive on it yet?
No, they have it built, but you can't drive on it yet.
Wow.
You're making sure, I guess, it stands up.
Right. I mean, it's unbelievable. But the larger there's such an incredible amount of people talking about this race being a one and done in Vegas, that it's not going to be here. That somebody said in my class, they said they lived in Vegas. She was 19. She's like, I've been in Vegas all 19 years of my life. She goes, I can't remember a singular topic that has united the city more than this. She's like, it's hard to get people to agree on anything. Every single person hates this. There's nobody
Like,
who likes this.
Yeah, like when the Knights came the first year and they had that Stanley Cup run, everybody became a Knights fan. Like something united the city. That was the first time. I've been here 20 years, and I kept saying to everybody, this is what it's like in other cities, you guys know. Like, this is when everybody's watching it. Everybody had the flag flying outside their house. They had the hats. They had the gear. Everybody knew what you were doing on the nights they were playing. It was great. This is definitely one of those things. Everybody, there's not one person that goes,
let's go.
I can't wait to go down there. No, I don't want to go anywhere near there. Like, it's inconvenience to everybody.
Now, I will say one thing I learned yesterday from my students is that if you have a job working the race on race weekend, they're paying students $80 an hour to do it. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
College is $80 an hour is pretty good. So you're going to work.
$80 an hour is good.
Yeah. So
Talking about
that was the best positive thing I heard. But they're like, look, it's only for 3 days. It's only for during the race, and during the race is going on. So they said, so how many hours are you expecting to make? And they said 10 to 15 hours over the 3-day week. I was like, all right, make a dime.
Is $150,000 a year.
Right.
It's a good life.
Oh yeah, but it's quick. I mean, that's only for 3 days. It's quick.
Right.
It's not a long 40 hours a week type of thing. It's 10 to 15 hours that they're paying the kids to be ambassadors, essentially, to be, I guess part of the job is like you be in the paddock or you be around the race and around to kind of help people direct traffic or whatever to people with what's going on. But I don't know. I can't wait to see the next couple of days. Once we get, I think, inside of 2 weeks, what does the strip look like? Because that was supposed to be the hell. They did tell us this, that when they were 2 weeks out from race day, because they're going to block the strip a week before, right?
You get these messages, like you get these pieces of paper handed to you when they close the strip, like New Year's. They tell you when the president's coming.
Yeah.
They give you these parking things. You can't go on the strip here. It's always temporary. It's like 6 hours. If you work the early shift, come in 2 hours extra early. It's 1 day. It's inconvenient. This is 2.5 weeks of you're going to be completely. I don't know how people are, talking to somebody that works in one of the books. They're like, either I'm calling in, quitting, or I have to go and shuttle from an off location. They're providing shuttles for employees to get in and out of.
The pain this is the thing. They told us about the pain before the race. Like, they told us about that pain.
Yeah.
They didn't tell us about the 6 months of pain
Right.
before the race.
Right.
So people are already at their wits' end. If everything was smooth up to this point, you could deal with being inconvenienced for 2 weeks. You'd be like, it's 2 weeks. We're good. They've already been inconvenienced for 6 months. So now their nerves are gone. They have no patience. They have no tolerance for anything. And now the real pain is going to start.
Right.
This is when it's supposed to really suck here for 2 weeks before the race.
Good luck.
I mean, the weird thing someone told me also, and this is only if you guys know Vegas to understand, but like there's weird traffic jams and bottlenecks happening in places that have never had traffic jams and bottlenecks before.
Correct.
So the airport, which can be somewhat busy, the airport yesterday, in the wake of the We Are Young festival being over and everybody flying out tomorrow, everyone, including me, by the way, we've been using the airport as a shortcut to get around the traffic that's going on in and around the strip.
Right.
Well, yesterday there was a 2-mile backup. You couldn't, it was backed up from the terminal all the way to Tropicana, was it?
Oh, no.
Yes, to Tropicana. All the way back out, all the way out, all the way down. So if you were trying to get out of Vegas yesterday, good luck. And there's no public transportation that'll take you to the airport. This is the one really wonky thing about this town that Elon Musk is trying to fix with the Boring Company, trying to build a shuttle or a underground system to get people from the airport to the strip. We don't have any ability to do that. Like in Boston, in New York, in Chicago, in Philly, like there's public, you land at the airport, there's a way of getting without driving to go home. In Vegas, you have one of 3 options. You have walking, you have driving your own car, or you have Uber, Lyft, cab. That's
walking.
It.
Where can you walk to anywhere
Just saying,
from the airport?
You could walk. Like you could technically walk if you wanted to walk.
You better be packing.
Yeah, you could. You could walk.
Oh.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could walk. Those are your only.
My worst enemy to walk even to the curb from the airport. Hell no, I'm good.
Right?
Oh man,
scary. All right, one more hockey one. Grand Salami is 103.5. 16 games.
Under?
I don't know. Right?
3.5,
so
16 games. Hold on, that's an average of 5 divided by 16 games, 6.5. So every game 6.5.
I would play over.
You would?
Uh-huh.
Let's do this. I'll do this quick. Let's see. Over, under. No, over. That's 4 overs, 1 under, 2 unders.
Here,
over.
Just do
5,
this so the audience knows what you're doing. Hold on, do this.
7.
Toronto, Washington.
Maybe over.
Toronto, Washington.
Over.
Anaheim, Columbus.
That's what I'm doing right now.
I know,
over.
but people know what you're saying. I'm giving you the games. People know what you're saying.
Okay, over.
Buffalo,
over.
Ottawa. Carolina, Tampa.
Over.
New Jersey, Montreal.
Under.
Dallas, Pittsburgh.
Under.
San Jose, Florida.
Over.
Colorado Islanders.
Under.
Seattle, Detroit.
Over.
Bruins, Boston, Chicago.
Under.
St. Louis, Winnipeg.
Over.
Really?
Yeah.
Hellebuck's a mess. I would have said under. Edmonton, Minnesota.
Over.
Vancouver,
Over.
Nashville. Rangers, Calgary.
Under.
Arizona, Kings.
Under.
Philly, Vegas.
Right on the number.
So then the only way you can go under this is like you have a 1-0 final.
Yeah,
and under's got to be.
Yeah, there's way more overs than unders. So yeah,
I would bet over. I would go over 103.5. You want to have a fun bet going? Find the Grand Salami at a book and bet this. This is the fun bet of the day. To bet on.
Especially the way the schedule's staggered. You know, it could come down to the last game, and you have to bet the last game under. Otherwise, if it goes over, you know, then you win the salami. If it goes under, you win the under bet. So you'll be able to play with the game. And if
you East Coast folks are up watching Vegas, Philadelphia, I'm going to tip my cap to you guys. That's going to be
11 o'clock Eastern.
11 o'clock Eastern start.
No way.
That is a DGen gambler special right there. If you get wiped out with baseball, you go right into the Philly Vegas game. Right. This is the Hawaii portion of the day on Tuesday. In case you need that late night sweat, this is the game that will fill that with Vegas, and it will be a rocking atmosphere because by 8 o'clock, folks in Vegas are going to be liquefied. They're going to be feeling quite good heading into the fortress. Going ahead and
liquefied. I never heard that reference. But they're going to be liquored up.
Oh yeah, liquefied. Okay. Oh yeah, they're going to be all good to go here on that. All right, one story, and then we'll do better to book it.
Yep.
DraftKings has overtaken FanDuel in the iGaming world. This was being sent to us by a couple people on social media. Here's your headline. DraftKings takes market share lead in U.S. online gambling. New reports show major change in industry's established pecking order. Further disruption expected from ESPN Bet and Fanatics. But this is not sports betting. You got to dig down a little deeper here into this. So does this matter to you?
Nothing to do with sports betting?
No, it includes sports betting.
It includes sports betting.
Yeah, it includes sports betting. But it's, I don't think it's as big of a story because it has more to do with iGaming to me than it does gambling. Does it matter to you?
No, none of this matters. These numbers, I was going back and forth with the guy in Kentucky yesterday. I haven't got a response yet. And a couple other people early this morning. Our friend Brew Baker was saying it. The way the numbers are reported is not uniform. So these numbers are all, I mean, for lack of a better term, there's a lot of bullshit in these numbers.
Right.
And I get the numbers, and I got a couple people that, send me other numbers and stuff, and I look at them, and I'm just like, I don't know what to believe, what not to believe. It's a feather in DK's cap to say this. That's good. They should say it. It's not just sports betting, which some people, I think, in our lanes have kind of mistaken this for.
Yes.
No question.
I think that they're like, oh my gosh, this is a huge deal. Look at FanDuel, is having problems. No, I mean, this is, we've seen DraftKings go into a variety of different markets. They have tried to diversify themselves and be a different type of, they want to be all encompassing everything. They did NFTs for a little while. Like it's more to do with overall gambling than it does, in my opinion, in terms of the sports betting market. FanDuel still has not every book. I mean, I believe like in states like Massachusetts, DraftKings beats FanDuel. I'll believe that. Maybe other states where DraftKings beats FanDuel, but in the majority, FanDuel is beating DraftKings. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Just given the numbers we've seen. Now, one day that might not be that way, but the headline says that disruptions coming from ESPN Bet and Fanatics. Do you agree with that?
No, I have another article that we'll use for tomorrow that's on Sports Handle. Rybeltowski wrote it.
About
that specific thing.
Oh.
I saw the rundown this morning, and I was like, I'm not adding to it. We'll bring that up tomorrow. No, I don't believe it at all. I think they'll have their challenges. They're going to have,
It's interesting though, because there are some opinions, like even on Sports Handle, the article that was written about, will the big bet on ESPN Bet work? But they also have an article on the fact that leading venture capitalists believe that ESPN Bet will be the top sports book eventually in America.
That's the article that I wanted you to. We'll reference that tomorrow. You can put that up.
Because I don't know if that's.
He's got to say that.
Who has to say that?
Well, both of those people.
Who's both of them?
The guy with the venture capitalist, who we know, friend of the show. And, if he says it, maybe it could be true. And maybe it'll be painted in a positive light.
I don't think it ever will be number one. I don't.
There's no shot.
I don't.
It'll be
it'll be competitive. I mean, I think Fanatics and ESPN both are going to come into the market, and I think they're going to make waves. I think people are going to use them, in particular, the younger people who are just turning 21. I think that they will use them in states that just go legal. I think people will use them. There will be a market because of the brand awareness for both ESPN Bet and for Fanatics. But in the states with established sports gambling that have had it legalized for multiple years now, they're so late to the party that I don't know what you're going to get to incentivize somebody or pull somebody away from what they currently are using. Right?
You said a quiet part out loud.
I mean, that just, I just, that's what I feel like. This is just typical stuff, like with anything, like, brand your beer, whatever your alcohol is, so I try to get kids when they're 18 because they make their selections and they make their pick and they can tend to stick with one or two of them. And that's their thing. And to pry them away, you have to figure out something very different to pry them away. And you could, but then it comes
What
back
is
to
what is the different? The lime green bro throw B and ESPN bet? Like what makes it different?
what makes ESPN bet different. It's going to be in your face consistently.
That seems to be working. Make
Well,
every moment mean more. The crown is yours. You know, the king of sports books. That's pushing people away.
If
That's
you argue,
not making
okay,
you do it
but the headline
more.
is iGaming is working. So DraftKings is getting people to come in and maybe not sports bet, but they're doing other things. So their overall gross gambling revenue is now over FanDuel's. So you could say it is working for DraftKings, that being in your face, maybe the same game parlay stuff they keep on pushing everywhere. That's not working. But overall, the customers are going to DraftKings and using the app in a variety of different ways.
Wow, congratulations to our friend Bill Krackenberger. He just announced that this week they're going to do the Wisecracks podcast live from Circus Sports Stadium Swim.
Hey,
how about that?
Good for him, Crack. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
What day?
Thursday Night Football.
A watch party?
Come be our guest for the show along with Derek Stevens. Come by and say hi.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone's doing it. It's just so we talked about us doing it, and I can't get my mind around just everyone. Why am I watching that? Is my question. I just don't. In theory, these ideas are awesome. Like in theory, you and I had some awesome ideas this summer on stuff to do, and then I sat down and really thought about the actual implementation of it and the actual execution of it, and I was like, why are we doing this? Like, this is not like, I want to watch the game. Like watching us is fun, but like watching all these watch alongs. I tried watching TNT's version of it for baseball. I lasted 2 minutes. I was like, what am I doing? I want to watch the game. I don't care what these guys have. I don't care if Pedro's talking about this. I love Pedro. I don't care what Pedro has to say right now. If Pedro was so good, put him on the broadcast, put him on the game. I'll hear his take live as to like what's going on. That's my only, like, at the end of the day, I'm 46. Maybe I'm not the audience. Okay. But at the end of the day, I love Pat and the boys. I can't watch them either. Like I can't watch anybody other than I just want to watch the game and give me a broadcaster calling the game and giving me the stats and information during the game. Manningcast was fun.
I don't even need all that. I just want to watch a game.
Manningcast was fun. I'll give you that Manningcast was entertaining because it was new. It was unique. Everyone's trying to recreate something that's already being done, and you're being held up to a competition mirror that you can't match. Because Manning's Manning. You're gonna. I can't break down a football play the way Peyton Manning can. I can't break down a lineup or what happened, or I can't watch a game. I can't have the predictive nature of him and Eli saying, "Okay, look where the safety is over the top. We're going here. This is what's going to happen." That's fun. In particular, in games I don't care about, that's fun. But there's very few people in the world that can do that. And it's not going to be me. So, like, that's my problem with all these watch-alongs. Is like, you aren't giving me any value. I need more than just characters.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's not what everybody's doing.
It's fine. And the numbers dictate it because the numbers aren't there. I mean, you can talk about all you want. The numbers just aren't. People will jump in. They'll watch for a minute. They'll watch for 2 minutes and they'll jump out. Like, oh, yeah. I got something I got to go ahead and do, guys. Appreciate you being here, but I got to go. So I don't know. That we're in a new world here when it comes to this stuff in terms of everyone trying throw stuff out the wall. I mean, absolutely. See what sticks, see what works. But I'm still watching games. At the end of the day, I'm still going to go watch. I'm going to watch games.
Their talent will influence to use ESPN bet. I don't know if they will, Marcelo, under.
100% they will. There's no debating they will.
The Gaming Control Board of Massachusetts said you will not do that.
It's interesting headline on Sports Handle right now. I don't know Edelstein the way you do, but he has a headline story out this morning. It says, "Does ESPN bet have a Pat McAfee problem?" For that very reason, because in Massachusetts they said to Dave Portnoy, "You can't be anywhere near the company. You can't be anywhere near anything." And not that Pat's anywhere near ESPN bet in the operation with Penn, but I don't believe that there is, but that's going to be a question for Massachusetts and other states. How much are you going to let your talent push the app and push the bets?
Well, that's not even what that article is about. I read that article. That's about something else.
No, it's about his personality and what he's done and the swearing and the way that Pat was and the branding.
Right. It has nothing to do with the betting.
No, he references the game and control board in the first paragraph.
Jeff does?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only paragraph. It's more about the changing of the culture and making all of what Pat does, rather than stand out, it's becoming
right.
more.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and that's a good question. I think it's more of a. It's odd that the Sports Channel went there because that article was already written by a different by a different website. It was already written by Barrett.
There's a hell of a hit piece on Pat in the Washington Post today.
Oh, really? A hit piece? Because Barrett Sports Media was the one that wrote that on Tuesday. They wrote the article about asking, does ESPN have a Pat McAfee problem? And I agree with that. Sports Channel says ESPN Bet had a Pat McAfee problem, which is a different story. Is ESPN Bet going to have a Pat McAfee problem? That's the headline. That's the headline story for today for Sports Channel.
Change the words a little bit.
Because the bet is the difference. That's Sports Channel's lane to say in the betting component. Barrett Sports Media is talking about the media side. And I do think there is an interesting point to be made about whether or not Pat is changing the culture, which I think is changing it for the better personally. But, ESPN has been buttoned up and suit and tied for a while. And now it's not. It's, people are being a bit more relaxed, and that's not a bad thing. But ESPN's trying to be more like Pat, and that's making Pat less unique. That's been the problem on that. But what's the hit piece on the Washington Post about?
Whether he's in the right place or not, or they made the right decision or not. There's a lot of questions asked in it. It's pretty interesting
from the Pat perspective, not the ESPN perspective.
No, from the ESPN perspective.
Oh, well, didn't he just have 250 million impressions or views? I think ESPN made a pretty good call. I don't know. I think the numbers would dictate whether ESPN made the right decision or not. You can talk about the money, I guess, later, but once you see how much what they're selling, but
yeah,
the audiences are there, obviously.
Maybe
it's still there. So that's. I mean, I think you can ask the question: that should Pat have gone to ESPN? I think that's a fair conversation, but we don't. I think the jury's still out on that. But I do think you can have a conversation about the other one.
Right. No, It's interesting. The whole thing. I mean, it's he got away from the sports book.
And now he's back in
and now he went to a sports network that's going to have a sports book.
That's going to ask him to push it to his audience.
I don't know if they're going to.
Interesting.
I don't know if they're going to. That's I don't know. They're going to have to walk a fine line.
Who's they?
ESPN. They're
With
going to
Pat?
have to walk a fine line. No, with the sports book in their stuff.
Is that because of the game and control boards?
They're going to have, it's going to be, because now they get the biggest megaphone. You can talk about it on fast channels. You can talk about it on your own channels and all this other stuff. Now you don't have to pay for the advertising, and you're booking the bets in the back. I mean, it's just like newscasters giving stock picks. Is it, are you supposed to? I mean, is this an SEC violation? You're not qualified to buy and sell stock. Are you telling them to buy and sell it because you got it and you're positioning your own self? I mean, there's a lot of questions now when you're doing it like that. If you're buying the advertising, it's different. If
does
it's your
the
own
Penn
channel, you're doing it?
Does the Penn National their license? It's not Disney's not licensed. Penn National is.
Correct.
Does that give them plausible deniability?
Did it work for Barstool? I mean,
it did. They went after Barstool because of the way that their talent. ESPN's never going to do what Barstool did.
No, they're not going to do a can't lose parlay.
They are never going to do that. I would be stunned.
They do a same game parlay on every.
They do.
They can't win.
Fine,
but they do a can't win parlay on every broadcast.
I think the language will never be the same. Will never be as inflammatory as what Barstool did. It's not ESPN's way.
That's fine, but they can't advertise that they know for real, like they're a legit news organization giving out sports betting advice.
It's fair. It's a very unique new world, and
yeah,
I mean only one state. Murky. only Mass really was the state. Massachusetts was the one that really held Barstool, but Barstool was based there. So there was a incentivized angle there for the Mass Gaming Control Board to be heavily scrutinizing what was going on with Barstool Sportsbook.
Nobody had their own distribution platform, all this other stuff.
No, ESPN makes still. I mean, numbers.
We do stuff for Sports Grid. If Sports Grid had a sports book, it would be a bit of a conflict, would it not?
I would agree for sure. Also, ESPN, the numbers just came out because ESPN is reporting differently now. So now we saw all of ESPN's numbers for the first time.
Yeah.
And ESPN is by far the most profitable sector for Disney. Like by far. They make way more money on ESPN and ESPN products still than they do on all their other stuff. They bill more, they make more money overall on their movies, but the cost to run those movies and produce that content is so much higher than ESPN. ESPN is still relatively cheap to run, even with their contracts to the NHL and the NBA and whatnot. It's still relatively cheap to run, and they make so much money off of the carriers still. Even though they're down 30% from the cable and people cutting cords, they're still making a ton of money. So those numbers being out in the world now could also create a problem as gaming control boards take a look at that and say, well, wait a minute. You're already making a ton of money off the public as is, and now you want to go ahead and make money off them and get them to bet with you. There may be a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
As well with that.
It's all too close, man. Everything's too close. This is just getting murkier and murkier and murkier. And there's going to be problems. And, everyone that I talk to, they're like, Dave, how do you know? I'm like, I just see it. I don't know. I can't tell you. I've seen it before. Things are going to happen. No one's listening. Are they going to stop with the competitors?
I don't think so. I think they'll take more. To be honest with you, I think they're going to take more advertising, less.
Really?
I do. Yeah, I don't think because if they do that, then the FTC gets involved. I think they're going to let. They're going to put
DraftKings
ESPN
is going to advertise on ESPN and pay zillions of dollars to do it.
Yep.
And they're going to take it.
Yep. They'll have shows,
bizarre. And we're going to run the book in the back. Like that's like, Costco advertising on the storefront of Walmart.
Yep. And I think the reason why they're going to do it is because if they block it off, there's FTC concerns. And so
God.
They're just going to go ahead and they're going to give ESPN Bet all the prime stuff. So ESPN Bet will be on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
But your college football games are going to be sponsored by DraftKings. They're going to give all your, NBA Wednesdays will be ESPN Bet, but your Friday night games will be DraftKings. Like they'll take it. I'll be very, very surprised if they do not take, if they say we're not taking any advertising. They're going to let the books make their own decision. The books might say we're no longer advertising on ESPN because we can't get the prime spot anymore. But it's not ESPN's decision. It'll be FanDuel DraftKings saying we're not going to go near that network anymore. Then they're clean. Then they're clean. Then it's hey, it ain't on us. That's them. They decided to do that, not me. I didn't tell you couldn't advertise. You just decided not to do that. So then the government can't get involved and nobody can cry foul and say, like, what the hell is this? And, now you're going to take the biggest, most powerful brand in sports and just take it to yourself. So that's my gut read to it. But again, I could be wrong, and ESPN maybe say, okay, goodbye. But there's a lot of money on the table advertising wise they can take. And maybe even more so because ESPN has to compete. Now, what do you do with Fanatics is going to be even more interesting. Because they got the pockets to come in and really bomb the whole entire space if they want to.
Yeah, but they have no distribution for content. What are they going to do?
Buy ESPN, sponsor shows. Sponsor shows
Fanatics.
Yeah, sponsor show on Fox, sponsor shows on ESPN. They're going to do it. I mean, it's going to happen. It's a matter of when, where, and how they're going to do it. But they have no choice. When they get into multiple states, like when they get to like double-digit states, 10, 11, 12 states, when they have a big enough opportunity to when it makes the most sense to advertise nationally, that's when I do think they'll wind up. I think you'll see that with Fanatics, that they'll come in advertising really
Get us
aggressively.
off of Sports Grid, and then we'll stay for BVB bonus.
Bonus time on the other side. If you were live on Twitter and live on YouTube, if you guys are on Sirius XM channel 159 or you guys are on Sports Grid TV, thank you so much. We're back tomorrow to recap Frozen Frenzy and the start of the NBA season on a Wednesday. If you were live, don't move. Bonus time right now. Okie dokie. We can go right into Bet It or Book It here on this. All right, in celebration of the return of this, well, the first time ever to the NHL, one of my old fun bets from last year, gift parlay. Goal in the first 10 minutes, Carolina, Tampa. Goal in the first 10 minutes, Edmonton and Minnesota. The numbers are the following. Minnesota is 5-0 in 5 games to a gift. Edmonton 4-1 in their first 5 games to a gift. Carolina 5-1. Tampa Bay 5-1. These stats all courtesy to our friend PSU Auto in his phenomenal spreadsheet. Betting and or booking this plus 164 parlay.
It's not bad, actually. I thought it would be lower. Say bet it. I mean, Minnesota Edmonton will be surprising if it don't get there.
This
Carolina,
is either team, by the
Tampa.
way, guys. This is one goal in the first 10 minutes.
One goal in the
either
first
team.
10 minutes of both games.
Either
Just
team.
One, it doesn't matter who scores it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Carolina and Tampa probably the one you got to worry more about, but I say bet it.
Okay.
I think
I
it
like that
wins.
too.
Yeah.
Under 1.5 goals, Arizona and the LA Kings. Amazingly enough, Arizona is 5-0 to the under in the first period this season through 5 games. Kings are 3-2 to the under in their first 5 games.
What's the price on this?
Season. Plus 120.
Take a shot. I like it.
Yeah. Get a little run with the trend. 1-0 after 1.
Yep.
That
I
wins.
like it. Yep.
Carolina, Tampa over 6.5.
Yes, bet it.
This is minus
There's no
110.
debate.
Minnesota, Edmonton over 6.5, minus 115.
I think that's a good one too.
And then
I
we're
think that's
going
a good one too.
2 more. Bruins puck line against Chicago at plus 112.
We'll book that. That's a 1-goal game, maybe.
If Mrazek plays the way he played against Colorado, maybe.
Right.
But he stood on his head and they lost 4-0.
This is Buffalo, or this is Boston on the way back home, right? They were out west. They did the California swing, and they're going
home.
They're going back home, right?
I think that's correct. Yes,
I think they played 3 games in California.
they did. That's right. And they played.
This is one of those ones that sometimes catches teams. Like
they just
tight
did it
game.
though. I agree with you, but they just did it. They played like shit against Anaheim. They played horrific.
They won 3-1.
Yeah, and it was 0-0 until the third period.
Yeah,
They had to wake up and go. Yeah, I think they play well. 1, it's Connor Bedard. 2, it's going to be a game in which Chicago, they have a chance to win the game, get a W, and Swayman's in net. Chicago ain't scoring.
right.
They ain't scoring tonight. It's going to be the Bruins. And then finally, you guys kind of messed me up here because I thought Jari was in net, but he's not going to be in net because Jari's been really good. But Dallas has Ottinger in net, which is good. Let me double check on that. I believe that's accurate. No, I shut that tab. Shoot. But it's Ottinger against the guy who I can't pronounce, but it's plus 110, under 1.5 goals. You guys are 3-2 to the under in the first period. Dallas is 3-1 to the under in the first period so far this season. Jari's awesome at home, so I'm kind of annoyed at this because this was a bet with Jari, but the goalie switch could screw me here.
I'd say book it too, and I don't know why. I'd say it goes over in the first period.
1-1.
Yeah, something like that.
It's possible.
Something like
I was
that.
hoping for a 1-0. I was hoping 1-0 Dallas or 1-0
Right.
after
you could
1,
get
but
it. Yeah, you could get that.
I could potentially, but it's first period unders are a bet I really like a lot, just for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
We only have one super chat to get to here today, and that is from Big Business. Good afternoon, Brigade. Let's fucking go, Rangers. From our friend Big Business. We appreciate him jumping in on that. Congratulations. He must have been through the roof. Lena says your backup goaltender was terrible last year. That's very possible. So
Your what?
your backup goaltender for Pittsburgh, whose name I can't pronounce, was terrible last year. That's very possible.
Casey DeSmith. He's not there. Remember, it was Casey.
No,
DeSmith?
no. The guy who is your backup now, he must have been somewhere else last year.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't in Pittsburgh.
He wasn't in Pittsburgh. The guy who's your backup goaltender now was terrible last year. So 1-0 Dallas after one. I'm fine. Let's just get one goal and Pittsburgh gets shut out by Ottinger and
right.
We're good. That's all we're going through. But better to book it. Diamondbacks money line tonight.
I have to go figure this out in the next hour. Because they gotta come back and do the grid later. Right now, let me look at this again. Oh, wow. They're playing games with this line all over the place today.
No, they're not. Breaking news, Oregon State and Washington State will be a 2-member conference next year.
Is that real?
That's from Goroff in the chat.
I hope he's serious when he says it. Told you guys, when you come in the chat and you say stuff, please be right. Just be accurate. I mean, you can have fun and joke, but if you say like breaking news or this is real or something.
That sounds somewhat accurate to me, though. I mean, I'm going to be honest because.
So they just play as independents?
Front
Office
Office
conference if it's
by
two
the way,
people.
yeah, and Front Office Sports is reporting that the Vegas Seattle news is now going to be official. NBA is expanding to Vegas and Seattle.
Oh yeah,
that's been rumored forever, but it looks like Front Office Sports is reporting that it's imminent that they're going to make the announcement. So we're getting expansion. We're getting an expansion team, which is going to be a lot of fun to see how that's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking on X, Twitter, whatever right now. I'm trying to see if that's
Yahoo reported it.
Okay, it makes sense to me that they do this because the reason why they're going to do it is to keep the money from the Pac-12.
Oh,
so like let's just say the Pac-12, Washington makes the college football playoffs. Washington's forfeiting that money. They're leaving. They're leaving. So Washington and Oregon State have a chance to make a ton of money. Now, they're going to get kicked out of the playoff, so not going to be an automatic bid to the playoff. But those two teams, those two universities are going to clean up all of the NCAA money that from teams who have made wins, all the shares, because it's paid out over a 6-year period. So all going back 6 years, every team that played in the game in the NCAA tournament makes $150,000. So for the Pac-12, there could have been 8 teams a year who played in 16 games. Think of how much money that's going to be at the feet of Oregon State and Washington State. So I get it. That makes sense to me. It's nonsense, but it's a financial move where you say, look, we're not competing for national championships anyway. We want money. And now we're going to take all y'all's money, right? All the stuff you guys made, all the money that's owed to you from all these networks, it's ours. I wonder if there's a lawsuit coming to sue them if they do that. That's going to be wild to see how that happens because they're voluntarily leaving. Washington, Oregon, USC, UCLA, they're voluntarily leaving. Utah, no one's forcing them out. So USC, the Washington State and Oregon State lawyers must feel like, look, you guys are forfeiting this money. You're leaving on your own. So it's ours now. Could be a huge windfall. It could be a huge amount of money.
Right.
For those two. And maybe they just play that way until they figure out, your conference championship game, your Pac-12 championship game is going to be Oregon, Washington State.
No matter what
happens. No matter what happens, you're playing in the Pac-12 championship game. And if you have a Pac-12 championship game booked, I mean, isn't it supposed to play here? So I guess that league can play at Legion Stadium. You just book your trips now. You know they're playing for a championship regardless of their schedule. It's a 1-game regular season, 1-game championship.
Came in the chat and said, per Yahoo Sports, Ross Dellinger, the 2 schools, Washington State and Oregon State, are expected to operate as a 2-member conference, at least for next year.
Big money. They're going to take all the money.
It's ridiculous.
I like it. I don't mind it at all. Because you aren't competing for championships anyway. You have an automatic bid in the NCAA tournament. So there's one team that's going to get in there, get the auto bid. There's no rule that states you have to have a minimum number of teams to be considered a conference.
That's ridiculous too.
There's not a rule.
Are they going to have the Pac-12 basketball conference here next year, or is that done?
I mean, you could technically do it.
Are they both going to come here and play round robin, best of 3? What do they do?
Well, that would be interesting, right? You have a 3-game series. You play a 3-gamer. That would be awesome. You would
go to the NCAA automatic.
You wouldn't play it at T-Mobile, obviously, but you play at Thomas and Mack. You go play it
at the Orleans or something.
The Orleans, yeah. You go play it somewhere, just a typical smaller venue. Have it be a round robin, best out of 3 games in 3 days. I love that. That's a great idea. They should steal that. that would be really fun.
People have stole many ideas from this show. Wouldn't be the first time.
I like that idea a lot.
Right.
Favorite thing about today is what?
Another Game 7. It's a fun day with all this other stuff, but I'm looking forward to watching this baseball game later. You guys know I got these exacta positions. My best position is with Arizona. Texas was the key to the whole thing. Texas jumped it to different points, with Houston being the odds-on favorite for so long. It was livable, but now this is like fun. And if Arizona wins, I'm going to be – you guys might hear me yelling from different states if Arizona wins tonight. Like this is one of those ones where the kids will be like, what is Daddy yelling about? Daddy's yelling – Daddy's going to the hockey game tonight just to go to the hockey game to get out of the house because Daddy's excited. That's what's going to happen. So, yeah, I can't wait. But again, I'll probably in-game it. I'll probably watch it. You guys got all the stats. You guys heard the beginning of the show.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
What is that?
It's what Bryce Harper showed up to the ballpark wearing.
Is that the Sixers?
It's a Pat Beverly new Nike City of Brotherly Love horrific jersey.
Is that their City Connects?
Yes, it is. That's I told you, Nike's. Everyone hates the basketball jerseys.
Ruining this.
They're ruining it. They're ruining it, and yet they're making Bryce. They probably asked Bryce to wear it. Hey, would you wear that? Show up. You're a Nike guy.
I like the old Sixers stuff.
That jersey's horrible.
I don't know what that is.
That's bad mojo.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But yeah, that's my favorite thing about today. And then, these other phone calls and other stuff that we don't have today, but we will have the rest of the week. So that's it.
I walked Madeline to school today. I had not done that in my life. Ever had walked her to school. She'd walked with her friends. She had a friend down the street. Their mom and dad walked, so Madeline kind of tagged along. But they've been riding bikes and doing different things. So Madeline said to me last week, said, "Can you walk me to school?" I said, "Sure." Right. I had walked. It's a mile from my house to the school.
Perfect.
To walk for a mile. It's a 20-minute walk. I can come back. It's perfect for me. I get my morning workout in, but it's fun to walk with her because I never walked to school. I never had kids. I did that one. That's not true. I did it once for West Elementary. I did it once in 5th grade. I was able to walk to school because we lived down the street from the school. Every other time I either took a bus or drove myself or whatnot. And I don't know. It just hit me this morning, like I felt very lucky to be able to do that. I felt lucky to live in a place where I'm close enough and the weather is 60 degrees and gorgeous. It's October. It's supposed to be kind of raw and nasty.
So you go out of your house to the right, and then on that Main Street?
Yeah, we walk right. Yeah, that just goes straight down to go all the way out
right,
basically
to the right again.
As far you go right out of my house, right to the main drag, and then a left. You take that road all the way down.
Oh, okay.
Till you hit the main intersection, which takes you almost into Red Rock.
Okay.
You take a right and walk up in the schools on top of the hill.
Is it all flat?
No, it's a good half mile straight uphill.
Oh, okay, good.
It's good.
That's
it's
awesome. That's even better. That's great.
And so it's 2 miles round trip for me to have her to walk her there. So we're doing that the rest of the week, but that was fun today. That was my favorite thing. I was like, I tell Madeline, I'm like, this is my favorite thing about today. It's like I've never walked you to school before. So
I walked Kendall to every day of kindergarten and 1st grade.
Nice.
To and from.
That's
my
great.
favorite thing that I did with her every single day. The stuff we talked about, the stuff it was tremendous. It was just the two of us, like 10 minutes each way, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I couldn't wait to say whatever we talked about, I listened on the way. And then when I would come back, I was by myself, listen to music, think, whatever. And then walking to get her, just thinking, listening to music, whatever. As soon as I got her, listen to her the whole way back. Priceless. It's awesome.
Very good. Folks, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Enjoy the hockey. I'll be in the Discord channel, bvbshow.com, throughout the day and in the night, watching baseball and watching hockey. So this is a fun day. If you have a chance just to kind of prop yourself up, put yourself in front of a TV set or two and watch some sports. It's a rarity. Today and tomorrow, it's a rarity. And I'm with you. Go D-backs. I'm going to go make that bet right now. Matt and Dave, we're back tomorrow for a big recap of Frozen Frenzy, previewing the World Series and the big opening slate of NBA basketball games coming up tomorrow for BBB.